Hello, dear students. Welcome back to English Literature online class. So, we have started the story The Shoemaker today. Before I continue with the same story, let me recapitulate the previous part of the story. So, in this story, we read about the shoemaker who was originally a very renowned doctor in Paris, and he was forced to spend 18 years in the prison. Now he had been set free, but he cannot lead a normal life anymore. In the prison, he had been taught to make shoes, and after being released from the prison, he continues to make shoes and has completely forgotten about his past and his family. Now, in this story, we find Dr. Manet, the shoemaker, who is the protagonist of the story, is a broken person. He is in a broken mental state as well as physically. He is broken. He is unable to relate his present. Uh, he cannot understand where actually he is. He still believes that he is in the prison, and thus he continues making his shoes. And we find him sitting on a bench in the garret, and with full attention, he is making his shoes. At that place comes Monsieur Defarge to meet the shoemaker, and he asked him to let the door of the garret to be opened wide, to let more air and light to come inside that dark room. So Monsieur Defarge wanted to open the door of that garret. Why? Because the shoemaker had been working in the darkness. Now, when he opened the door wide, the light came inside that room and the shoemaker was clearly visible. Now, let us read the next part of the story. He had put up a hand between his eyes and the light, and the very bones of it seemed transparent. So, when the light entered the room, the shoemaker had put up a hand between his eyes and the light. Why? Because he cannot bear the light. He had been in the prison for a long time. He had been in the darkness for a long time. That is why he was unable to bear the light. So, to prevent the light from touching his eyes, or he cannot bear it. That is why he was trying to protect his eyes with his hand. And in that light, his hands could be seen clearly. It was so thin and lean that his bones were clearly visible. They seemed to be transparent. So he sat with a steadfastly vacant gaze, pausing in his work. So when he saw somebody to open the door wide and standing in front of him, he stopped his work. He gave a pause to his work, and he gave a steadfastly vacant gaze. That means he looked firmly at the person who was standing before him, but that look was very empty, a vacant gaze, as if he cannot understand what was happening around him. He cannot understand who is standing in front of him and what he was trying to do. He never looked at the figure before him without first looking down on this side of himself, then on that, as if he had lost the habit of associating place with sound. He never spoke without first wondering in this manner and forgetting to speak. So, he never looked at the figure before him. That means he never looked at the person standing before him without first looking down on this side of himself, then on that. So he had the habit of looking first to one side of himself, then to the other side of himself, and then looking at the person or looking at the speaker, but he doesn't know what to speak. He had forgotten what to speak. So why this has happened to the shoemaker? This has happened because the shoemaker had been in the prison for a long time. So he was quite afraid. He was very vulnerable at that time. He was quite afraid to uh, look up straight and to speak to the person. That is why the same thing continued even after being released from the prison. He was unable to speak to someone. Mr. Lorry came silently forward, leaving Lucy, the shoemaker's daughter, by the door. So, Mr. Lorry silently, there is another character in the story, Mr. Lorry. So, he was there outside the garret. He came inside the room silently, and Lucy, the daughter of the shoemaker, who was along with Mr. Lorry, he stood outside the door. When he stood for a minute or two by the side of Defarge, the shoemaker looked up. So he stood out beside Defarge inside the room for some time, and then the shoemaker looked up after some time. He showed no surprise at seeing another figure. So he was not at all surprised to see another person standing beside Defarge. But the unsteady fingers of one of his hands strayed to his lips as he looked at it. So when he looked at the person standing in front beside Mr. Defarge, he just gave the same look. He was not at all surprised, and his trembling fingers that aimlessly touched his lips. That means he touched his lips uh, with his trembling fingers, and in that light it was visible that his lips and his nails were of the same pale color. They had turned pale because he was weak, he was exhausted, he was physically broken. And then the hand dropped to his work. Then again he put his hand down and started his walk. And he once more bent over the shoe. So he was again focusing or concentrating in his work. The look and the action had occupied but an instant. For that moment only, that look and that action took place. Again, he was busy doing his job of making shoe. "You have a visitor, you see," said Monsieur Defarge. Monsieur Defarge told to the shoemaker that a visitor has come to meet you. You just see. "What did you say?" So that was the question of the shoemaker. That what are you saying to me? What did you say? "Here is a visitor." Monsieur Defarge repeated the same words, that here is a visitor who had come to meet you. The shoemaker looked up as before, but without removing a hand from his work. So he continued his work, and again he looked up as before. "Come," said Defarge, "here is Monsieur, who knows a well made shoe when he sees one." So now he was introducing Mr. Lorry to the shoemaker. Defarge told to the shoemaker that here is Monsieur. Monsieur means sir. Here is the gentleman, sir, who knows a well made shoe when he sees one. That means he is an expert uh, in examining good shoes. So show him that shoe you are working on. Take it, Monsieur. So Mr. Defarge or Monsieur Defarge, he took the shoe from the shoemaker on which he was walking and gave it to Mr. Lorry. Mr. Lorry took it in his hand. Mr. Lorry took the shoe from Defarge in his hand, and then he told to the shoemaker, he spoke to the shoemaker, "Tell Monsieur what kind of shoe it is." So he asked the shoemaker about the shoe. "Tell Monsieur," that means tell sir, what kind of shoe it is, what kind of shoe it is that you are making. "And the maker's name, tell me the maker's name." That means the one who had made this shoe. There was a longer pause than usual. So there was again a silence, and this was for a longer time, before the shoemaker replied, "I forgot what it was you asked me." So we know that the shoemaker was unable to understand what the speakers are speaking to him. We know the reason why he was unable to understand. So he again told to Lorry, Mr. Lorry, that "I forgot what it was you asked me. What was you asking me? I have forgotten." So what did you say? So he was asking the question again. He was asking Mr. Lorry to repeat the question again. So here I end for today, children. So after this explanation, there are few questions for you. Write down these questions in your notebook. Follow the explanation which I have given today. So these questions are related to this part of the text. I hope you will be able to write down the answer from this part. Thank you, children.